There is growing bipartisan frustration in Congress after the Justice Department sent lawmakers a list of so-called politically exposed persons connected to the millions of documents from the Jeffrey Epstein investigations. The list includes many well-known names, but without any explanation or context. For example, names like Janis Joplin and Pope John Paul II appear in the files, even though they have no known connection to Epstein's crimes. Importantly, no one besides Epstein and his associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, has been charged in relation to these crimes. Some lawmakers believe the Justice Department is intentionally creating confusion. They argue that simply mentioning someone in an email or document does not mean that person was involved in wrongdoing. Being listed is not the same as being guilty. Meanwhile, business leaders like billionaire Tom Pritzker have publicly expressed regret over past associations with Epstein, saying they now deeply regret those connections. The Justice Department recently sent Congress a letter listing hundreds of prominent names found in the Epstein Files. But here's the key point. Being mentioned does not automatically imply involvement. For example, Elvis Presley's name appears in the files, yet he passed away decades ago. That raises serious questions about how and why these names were presented. Some names on the list include presidents, business executives, and government officials whose connections to Epstein have previously been reported. However, many others were simply mentioned in emails or discussions, without any evidence of wrongdoing. Oversight Committee member, Representative Jasmine Crockett, spoke about transparency concerns. Some lawmakers, including Democrat Ro Khanna and Republican Nancy Mace, have raised concerns, with some saying the release appears selective and others arguing that important names are missing. Representative Crockett criticized what she described as a lack of transparency. She said there seems to be an agenda within the Justice Department, and that public trust in Washington leadership is declining. According to her, the Department of Justice should focus on truth and accountability, rather than creating confusion. She also pointed out that during earlier releases of Epstein documents, some victim names were revealed, which she believes may have intimidated survivors. When asked about reviewing unredacted documents, Crockett explained that although lawmakers were invited to view them, many of the files she attempted to access were still redacted. She said she specifically requested certain documents recommended by her staff. But when she searched for them, they remained blocked or edited. She described the process as frustrating. Only 4 computers were made available for all 435 House members. After following the instructions to access unredacted files, she found that many documents were still restricted. Staff reportedly said that some files were received in that condition and that technical issues were being addressed. Lawmakers from both parties say the larger issue is transparency. They argue that if the goal is accountability, then Congress must be given full and clear access to the documents, without selective releases or redactions that create more questions than answers. The controversy continues as members of Congress demand clearer answers from the Justice Department about what is being released and what may still be hidden.